So we are in 16th chapter, Daiva Ashura Sampada Vibhaga Yoga, the divine and the demoniac nature. So this chapter is slightly different from the other chapters, and Krishna is talking about two types of created creatures. Okay, so let us pay obeisance to Sri Radha Govinda. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Te Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavad Ascha Desha Tarini Om Ajnana Timirandasya Kashalakaya Chakshunmitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manoabhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaguna Sahagana Raghunatam Vaitam Tamsha Jivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Saha Guna Lalita Shri Vishaka Navittamsha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitam Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Okay, so what did we see last chapter? Yoga of the Supreme. It was a Purushottama. Then Krishna was using the analogy of an inverted banyan tree to talk about how the material world is like a reflection of the spiritual world. There the branches are so intertwined and thing, no one can know the beginning or the end. The only way to come out of this entanglement is to chop the branches with the handle of detachment. So only by detachment can we come out of this material bondage. So then he talked about then he also told how the difference between the spiritual world and the material world. Then transmigration. Then he talked of the transmigration of the body, how it moves from one body to the other, depending on their desires, and to the mentality, depending on the mentality and what desires they had got, that kind of body they get in the next birth, the ears, nose, thing. And we see, every individual has got a different type of body, isn't it? So it depends on their mentality, how they have in this world at the present birth. And it's like, it talks about how the air carries the aroma, when it blows over the rose garden, it will have the sweet smell of the roses. Like that, the subtle body takes our desires and the whatever we have karmas, whatever we desires, that is being carried to the next birth. Okay, so then he talks about how he is maintaining the entire universe, because the sun, the moon and everything, which is being moving around this space, in the spiritual space, in the space around us, the universe is being maintained by him and by his energy, and also our body, because the fire of indigestion and the prana which is flowing in our body, all that is maintained by him, right? And our mind is by giving us the intelligence, forgetfulness, and the buddhi. The mind is maintaining, and our soul is by giving us this knowledge, how to come out of this thing. So this is our maintenance. So he is the, and it is said in the Vedas also. In Vedas, scriptures, everything is there. Activities, so he says we have to do all the activities which is done according to Vedic rites are auspicious. Vedaishchariva charva thayam. So what is he talking in this chapter is about two thing. That is the divine nature and the demonic natures. Okay. The first one is Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samusiddhe Jnana Yoga Vyavastitaha Danam Damascha Yajnascha Swadayastapad Ajavam Ahimsa Satyam Akroda Tyaga Shantir Apaishunam Daya Bhuteshva Alolukvam Madhava Hrik Chapalam Teja Shama Drikta Shaucham Hadroho Nati Manita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Avijatasya Bharat. So it is about 26 qualities is the divine qualities he is describing. They are listing these 26 divine qualities which are divine parts. So he says the fearlessness, purification of one's existence. How do you cultivate the spiritual knowledge? Charity, self-control, then performance of sacrifice, study of Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault, especially this one, aversion to fault finding, because we are always in that mode, no? Try to find the faults in the others. Compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, determination. So how do we describe this? What he says is that we have 4 orders. No, there are some who have been taken sannyasi order, some would be still in brahmachari, some would be in the grihastha and things. So here he is talking about these qualities which are born of godly tendencies, like sannyas. So fearlessness, sannyasi has to be fearless because he's left all his house, material thing, everything, and his material world, no? Here, I mean, is detached from all that. So that is, he has to be fearlessness. Otherwise, he will be fearless because he is depending on the protection from the Krishna, from the Lord. So sannyasis, when they have to be fearlessness and also purification of ones, because their and cultivation of spiritual knowledge. This is what will be their life practice, isn't it? Their main purpose in life would be to spread the spiritual knowledge. They'll go from house to house, not for just getting the food or thing, but to spread the spiritual knowledge to everybody. That will be their that would be their business. Okay, so that is the sannyasis. And charity, self-control would be the work for the grihasthas. Okay, the grihasthas are is meant for the householders, because they have sannyasis, brahmacharis and all, they don't work, isn't it? They are in the trying to cultivate the spiritual knowledge. So the grihasthas are the ones who have to maintain them. So 50% of their whatever they have earning, they need to spend for the propagating the Krishna consciousness. So actually Krishna doesn't need money, but we come across many saintly persons. If we give charity, our heart also will soften up, isn't it? To understand this knowledge better. People who don't give charity, their hearts will be very hard. For them, they can't take to Krishna so easy. So, and self-control, they have to regulate their sense gratification, grihasthas. And the self-control will be there for all the orders, whether they have taken sannyasi or brahmachari or vanaprastha, it will be for everybody. And performance of sacrifice and study of the Vedas, austerity, that is mainly for the brahmachari and sannyasis. Okay, and there will be simplicity. Simplicity is there for everybody. Simplicity is that is simple living and high thinking. It is good for a spiritual growth, advancement in the spiritual life. So that, and freedom from anger, I've been telling, that is kama, krodha. I think always talks about freedom from anger, renunciation, and study of various brahmachari. Tapas, austerity, I think, is for vanaprasthas also. Aversion to fault finding is very important because I think compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination. Exactly, steady determination, vigor, and all is for Kshatriyas. And cleanliness, fortitude. Cleanliness is not only in the body, physical cleanliness is also internal. And freedom from envy. Envy is all the time Krishna is talking, because that's one quality which we should try not to have, that we should be free from the envy. Envy is that we, as I said earlier, that envy means that we don't like what others is, someone else is having. That is the thing. That is I want that what he has, but he should not have. That's known as envy. And they are envious of the Krishna's power. So, and from the passion for honor. And we always know we like people to honor us. And then we can't. So this is very difficult to control, but these are the transcendental qualities. So Krishna says, the son of Brahma, these belong to godliness, endowed with divine nature. So he here clearly spells out all the qualities to Arjuna who are having this transcendental nature, the divine nature, right? So this thing, that what happens to the demonic nature. Dambo darpa abhimanascha, krodha parishyam evacha, ajnanam chavishtasya, pata sampadam ashuryam. See what this mad elephant is doing, okay? Because of arrogance. That is when you are arrogant, proud, anger, conceit, that is proud, and then harshness and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of Pritha. So he gives out 6 qualities. And these people, people having such nature is the royal road to hell, isn't it? That is it. So, and for us, the godly qualities he gave 26, whereas for the demonic one, he just gave the 6 qualities, which is the demonic nature. So, and then he's going to explain why we are, what happens if we have such qualities, okay, in our spiritual life. Daivi sampad vimokshaya nibantyashchori mata ma socha sampadam daivim avijjato sa pandava. So, transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation. Okay, so that is help us in our spiritual growth. Whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. That is, if we have such qualities, what happens? We are still bound in this material world, and we are not able to come out of the cycle of birth and death. So, and then he tells Arjuna, O son of Pandu, for you are born with divine qualities. So you are saying that these are the people who are having demonic qualities, and these are the pious people here. Okay. So he says, if you have these transcendental qualities, then it is conducive to liberation. That is for a spiritual growth, advancement in the spiritual life. O son of Pritha, in this world there are 2 kinds of created beings. One is called the divine and the other is demonic. Okay, I've already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demonic. So this chapter now is very simple to understand. Here is only telling us about these qualities of the divine and demonic for us to have a distinction, how these 2 are the different distinct people, and which are the ones we have to follow. And we should also be aware of what tendencies, if we have the demonic tendencies, we should try to see that we don't nurture them, right? That is the basic understanding we should get from this chapter. Pravirtam cha nivritam cha janana vido na ashuraha na shaucham na pishashara na satyam teshu vidyate. So what are these people do? They are demonic, so they don't know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. Okay, so they don't know what they are doing because they don't know what their duty is. See, Arjuna has been asking right from the beginning. He asked, what is my duty? and what is the beneficial for me? These were the two things he kept asking. So that is the underlining thing in this Bhagavad Gita. That is, we should know what is our duty and what is beneficial for us. So here these people, demonic people, they do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. So they are not clear, clean, and they have no truth in them. Otherwise, they won't be in this nature, isn't it? And why are they like that? Asatyam aprashitam te jagad hahur anishwaram aparashtara sambhotam kim anyat kama haituka. They say that this world is unreal. There's no foundation and there's no God in control. It is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. So these people are proud atheists. They say there's no God, it's only our imagination. There's nothing like that. It has just come, and they are very proud of themselves. And for that, and they, even the people who are impersonalists, no, they believe in Brahma Jyoti. We all merge into the Brahma Jyoti. Ultimately, they say there's no God, there's no Rupam, it's just the energy. Okay, so they are there like that, and they end up saying if at all they say I am God, they ultimately they'll come to that also. So this is the kind of mentality they have, saying that there's no a very proud atheist. Okay, and see now what is Krishna is saying, he is telling us what all the different type of people will be there, and when they get conditioned in this material world. Okay, these are the things. Their philosophy is that. So he is talking about the philosophy they have. Okay, this is what they believe, and they preach to others also. Following such conclusions, the demonic who are lost to themselves and have no intelligence engage in their unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. So they think they can do anything. They don't mind hurting anybody, and they don't mind destroying anything, even the nature, everything. They think they are the Lord. They are the ones who have come here to rule, and they are meant to enjoy themselves. So this is their attitude. Okay, and the thing. So the demonic taking shelter of insatiable lust, pride, and false prestige, and by being thus illusion, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. So they don't mind doing anything. They'll go to any. We saw, no, how Duryodhana went to such extreme level, to be the king, isn't it? He wanted to do everything for him. He didn't want, he tried even to burn their house, gave them so much trouble to the Pandavas, to his own cousins. So they are that kind of demonic nature, who will, and they are not satisfied with if all that trouble they gave, they are not satisfied. They want to give them more and more trouble. So this all because of their lust, pride, and false prestige. Okay. Being thus illusion, they are sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. So that's their attitude. And they believe that to gratify the senses unto the end of life is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, there's no end to their anxiety. So they think just eat, sleep, sense gratification, that's all there for them. That's a goal of life. And to that thing, they will have a number of desires, and they will keep on trying to satisfy one after their desires. And so they'll always be anxious to see what desire they can have and how to enjoy themselves. So being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires, by lust and anger, they secure money even by illegal means, because they want to sense gratification. So they don't bother if it is legal or illegal, they will go to any extent. So this is their mentality. And we saw their philosophy and their mentality and attitude. So the demonic person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will go in more according to my scheme. So he'll always be putting some scheme after the other, so that he'll be accumulating more and more wealth. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future also, more and more. Why? Because he has destroyed his enemies. He is my enemy and I've killed him. And my other enemy will also be killed. So there's nobody to oppose him. So he says, I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer, I am perfect, powerful, and happy, and I am richest. surrounded by aristocrats. So who are the same demonic people we see here is the Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu, no, he was, is his son here, Prahlad. So when he asked his Prahlad, what did you learn in the Gurukul? Then Prahlad says, the best thing I think I learned is the Smaranam Krishna, Vishnu Smaranam. Okay, so Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. He's so disgusted. He says, how did you learn this? He is my great enemy and you are the enemy too. So he goes to any length even to kill his own son. So that was his demonic. He was only bent upon getting Hiranyakashipu in his Hiranya is gold. Is I think wealth and power, and that's all he was. He thought that was the end of life, and he's the most powerful. Even Devatas were scared of him. Such power he had, from the benediction of Brahma. So that has become very arrogant and conceit, thinking no one can beat him. Okay, so that was the thing. And here we saw Kamsa, how he was, the minute he heard from the Akashvani that Deviki's son will kill him, is the death personified, he was ready to kill his own sister itself. So that's the thing. And here we saw Ramana, how he wants to kidnap this mother Sita. So these are the demonic nature. And there is none so powerful and happy as I shall, and they will perform sacrifices for their own pride, they think that I will give some charity, I will do some practices, and they think that by doing that, all their papa will get nullified, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. He doesn't know that this is not the way, and they do not believe in the law of karma. That is, they don't believe in reincarnation. So this is the kind of mentality and the philosophy, and that's how they lead their life. So now what happens? Thus perplexed, what Krishna says, perplexed by various anxieties. Because when you see a rich person, they will have so many cars, and they think, and they're always busy in trying to get more and more wealth, how to safeguard their wealth, how to invest in the business, and how to, so that's all they'll be thinking. But they're not happy, because that is not their goal of life, isn't it? Even if you have, they'll always be anxious. So thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by network of illusions, what happens? One becomes strongly attached to sense enjoyment. That's what they will become. Okay, and fall down into hell. So this is what is the final destiny. Why? Because they are in this moha jala, that is the illusion, maya. Avidhi purvaka, that is because they don't know they are illusion, network of illusions. So bewildered by false ego, strength, because they think they have the money, they have the strength, the pride. Because of that intelligence and lust and anger, the demon becomes envious of the Supreme Personality of God. So they can't think there can be God there. Because if they have to accept him, that means he'll be more powerful than him. No. So he can't accept that. He can't think there can be a God who will be more powerful than him. So that is why he is envious of the Supreme Personality of God. Who actually, Paramatma is there in everybody, who is situated in his own body and the body of others, and he blasphemes against the religion. So he doesn't want to believe the Dharma. So it doesn't want to believe in the religion or in the Vedic scriptures. Okay. And here we have the Shishupala, how he was all the time, Krishna, he was insulting, and finally he had given his word to his aunt, that if he crosses 101 mistakes, I will not forgive. I will forgive him only at that. So this is the Rajasya Yajna when Yudhishthira Maharaj was performing. That time Shishupala was very envious of Krishna being in this. So, and he will been insulting the Krishna, and finally he meets his death. Okay, so that is what they think. They don't believe in this, that there's Paramatma in all the body and also in the law of karma. So those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. So what is their destiny? Krishna says they will go to the demonic species of life. That is the lower species of life, right? And repeated births among the species, such persons can never approach, because if they are in the demonic species, they will never go above to the board of Krishna, that is to Goloka or Vaikuntha. They will, because of their activities, and they still want to do that. Krishna cannot see, when whatever we desire, Krishna gives that, isn't it? If we desire to be not for Krishna, that is the root cause. That is, they don't want to go to the Krishna's way. They want to go on their own way. Their own way is the Maya's way, right? So if they want to be against Krishna. So and then Krishna says, okay, then if you don't want to come in my way, you go ahead and you will be in the lower species of life. So they slowly go down and down, sink down the abnormal type of existence. But one thing we should understand, that though they go to the hell and all that, what we say, the lower planets, actually they go there for rehabilitation. It's not a place like, thing, but they will be trying to, that is a place for rehabilitation. Okay, so that is that. And what is the problem? The root cause for all these natures? Here Krishna says in this verse, he says, Trividam narakashyedam dvaram nashanam atmanaha. The hell for the three gates, which Trividam naraka, that is gates leading to hell are kama, krodha, tata, lobha. That is kama, lust, anger, and greed. So these are the three things which are the root cause for this nature. Okay, so we should understand now. So now what is the root cause? Why the thing? So this is the lust. What is happening? Why they are behaving like that is because they have fallen under these three: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give this up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. Okay, this will not help us in the path of spiritual life. So this is the cause. So right from the beginning, from the chapter 2 onwards, you see Krishna always talks about these things. How to control your mind, and how the mind works, the nature of the mind, and how we, by our attachment, we get into this lust, and then desire with anger, because the desires don't get satisfied, and also we are angry with others, and greed, because our desires don't get satisfied. We are always having more and more desires, right? So we are greedy for that. So these three things, if we have, then it is degrading our soul, because we are not able to satisfy the soul. That soul will not be happy because of them. And so we have to give up that, isn't it? And we have to beware of these things. So that's what Krishna underlines the thing. Last, kama, krodha, tata, lobhascha. So how do we do that? So now the man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization, and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. So how do you do? He will do by accepting a spiritual master, study the Vedas, Vedic injunctions, and go as per the Vedas. He says, no, even in the last chapter, in the end, he was conclusive. He says, Vedic injunctions is more acts we do that is more auspicious. And the supreme, and the Vedas says the supreme goal is to go back to some Godhead. So this is how we have to escape these gates of hell. For that. So, Yesh Shastra Vidyam Mustrija Vartate Kama Karataha Na Siddhyam Avapnoti Na Sukham Na Param Gatim. So, what does he say finally? But he who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor supreme rest. So, this is what's happening to the demonic natures, because they discard the Vedas. They think it's something not to be, it's all old Purana, and they want to act as they want, as per their whims. And whims, as they act as per their whims, it's not perfect, because we have imperfect senses. So Maya will trouble us with threefold miseries. That will be there. It will never leave us. So if we are not towards Krishna, then it will be towards Maya, and Maya will always trouble us with the threefold miseries. What are the threefold miseries? Adi Bhuta, Adi Daivam, Adi Atma. That is, Adi Daivam is from the miseries from the nature, like the floods, earthquake, and like corona things. And Adi Bhutam is the from other living entities. And Adi Daivam is from our own desires and our own greed and our own anger. So these are the troubles which we have and our diseases. So what should we do? Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavastitau Natva Shastra Vidanoktam Karma Kartam Hirasi. So this is our duty. What is our duty? We should understand what is duty and what is duty, not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. No, that will be explained to us by our Christian master. So knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually vary. So he gives us the way. And he tells us, see here he clearly tells us what not should be done and what is a root cause for us going down in that path. And how we come out of it is to go by the regulations in the scriptures. Okay, so and that. So finally, this is how he concludes. So one, we should perform acts for self-realization, and who does that, and he follows the scriptures, then escapes the gates and attains liberation. And they are the ones who are divine. If you reject the scriptures and act whimsically, you will be miserable and you got greedy grace. So this is what divine nature is, and these are the demonic nature. Okay, so the divine nature, what it does, he is able to attain liberation because of he will be performing acts for self-realization as per the scriptures. He knows what will be his duty and how he should escape the gates. That is the lust, kama, krodha, and mother, greed, then everything. But if you reject the scriptures and you want to act as you want, and that means you are not following, you don't accept the law of karma, and you are in the Maya Jala, then you'll be miserable. You'll always be anxious in your life, and you'll finally go to the lower species. Even in chapter 15, Krishna says Vedas have all the rules and regulations. We are supposed to understand that through our spiritual mind. So if you do that, it helps us to gradually purify ourselves and ultimately reach perfection. So this is a very short chapter, very, very simple and very easy to follow, isn't it? So that means we need to go through the Vedic scriptures. And what is the Vedic scriptures? How to do it? We should go through our spiritual master. So and here we saw the divine and the demonic qualities and the 3 gates to hell. And what are the prescribed duties? Where it is given? It is given in the Vedic injunctions. We should follow them and things. So regulated lifestyle can easily transform selfishness to selflessness, lust to love, and quarrel into cooperation. So this is what we understand here. And one more thing is, when people say what you are can easily be seen when you are in trouble times. Actually, how we react when some troubles come to us and how we behave and how we handle that will show her our real nature. Okay, like they say if you squeeze the mango, you will get mango juice. When you squeeze lemon, you also will get the lemon juice. Like that, when we are in troubles, when in the trouble times, then only we'll know what we are really are. Our nature comes out there, not in the ordinary time, how we handle it. So here he says how to detach oneself from activities based on false ego. See, false ego is something where we all of us fall into it. No, either false ego means once you get educated, yes, I've got educated, I've got this much degree, now I got this job, and now I'm able to this. So you start becoming proud and thing and believing in yourself in that. So that happens, then you are in the false ego, you get into it, then you don't want to follow the scriptures. You don't want to think, you want to act in your own way. That false ego, that is also arises from the attachment to our body, to this material world. So now we saw the qualities of the saintly persons and the weaknesses of the demonic. And here Krishna systematically exposes the attitudes, behaviors that destroy our spiritual, isn't it? So we should have a regulated lifestyle, so that will easily transform selfishness to selfless. That is, will be more charitable to the others, will more forgiving, and we won't be fault finding. And then last to love, compassionate, and uh, coral into cooperation. Then we'll cooperate with the others instead of being coral. So one's greatness has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. This is what Srila Prabhupada says. And also one instance, when the devotees were trying to see, when he was in this time, there were a lot of contradictions. A lot of people used to oppose him, because they were all people were all materialistic, isn't it? So they were having that kind of thinking, and they used to oppose. So the devotees wanted to, debate with them and all that. Then when they were arguing with Prabhupada, then Prabhupada says, see, you have understood now because of my teachings. Now you're all learning, no? So the Bhagavad Gita, so you have understood, yes. By chanting and by meditating, this japa meditation, it helps you to control your mind, and you'll be more calm, and you'll be able to more think. But those people, they have not got the teachings. They have been taught something else. That's why they behave like that. So we should try to rectify the teachings, because the persons, no, they're diseased. So we have to cure the disease, and not the persons are basically, they're all good, but because of their teachings, of what they have learned, they will behave like that, isn't it? So that is what. So he says we have to, we in this greatness will be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. So with this, I will close. It's a very short chapter. And later I will take, after questions, I'll take up the this mind control by spiritual techniques. Okay. Hare Krishna. I will stop.